Hello everyone and welcome. I'm going to do some reading of what I think is probably the best page in the book Sword of Destiny, The Witcher, by Sapkowsky. I've been reading The Witcher for a while and I'm rereading it now. Sapkowsky is definitely one of the most genius writers I've read, and he's kind of motivated me to possibly learn Polish. But anyways, it would be easier for me to learn it because I speak a Slavic language anyways. So this is a moment, it's on page 292 in this copy that I have of the book. It's about Eithne, who is one of the dryads, and she is basically defending Brokilon. Brokilon is a huge forest that has been basically surviving for ages and trying to repel off the human threat. So here's what she says, right? After Geralt gives her some arguments about destiny, and destiny is the key concept of this book. Geralt was silent. You say something is ending, Eithne slowly went on. Not true. There are things that never end. You talk of survival? I'm fighting to survive. Brokilon endures thanks to my fight. For trees live longer than men, as long as they are protected from your axes. You talk to me of kings and princes. Who are they? Those whom I know are white skeletons lying in the necropolises of Crag An, deep in the forest, in marble tombs on piles of yellow metal and shining gems. But Brokilon endures. The trees sow above the ruins of palaces. Their roots break up the marble. Does your Venslav recall those kings? Do you, Gwenblade? And if not, how can you claim that something is ending? How do you know whose destiny is destruction and whose eternity? What entitles you to speak of destiny? Do you actually know what it is? No, the Witcher agreed. I do not. But, if you know not, she interrupted, there is no place for any but. You know not. You simply know not. She was silent, touched her forehead with her hand, and turned her face away. When you came here the first time, years ago, she said, you did not know either. And Moraine, my daughter Geralt, Moraine is dead. She fell by the ribbon, defending Brokilon. I did not recognize her when they brought me to her. Her face had been crushed by the hooves of your horses. Destiny? And today you, Witcher, who could not give Moraine a child, bring her, the child of the elder blood, to me, a little girl who knows what destiny is. No, it is not knowledge which would suit you, knowledge which you could accept. She simply believes. Say it again, Ciri. Repeat what you told me before the Witcher. Geralt of Rivia. White Wolf entered. That Witcher who does not know. Say it again, child of the elder blood. Your Majesty, venerable lady. This is part of the book, she makes a mistake, right? Ciri said in a voice that cracked. Do not keep me here. I cannot. I want to go home. I want to return home with Geralt. I must go with him. Why with him? For he is my fate. Eithne turned away. She was very pale. And then they go on and on and on. Why is this a really important part of the book? First of all, the whole point of Brokilon is people who dwell in nature fighting against people who, well, not people as in humans, these are different creatures, the dryads. They're fighting for survival, essentially. Now, the question is of destiny. Geralt argues that she keeps on killing men who are the only ones who are able to impregnate the dryads so that they can live on. And she keeps snatching away daughters from the humans to survive. So he says that this is a pointless war because Brokilon will be eventually reduced. The forest is going to fade away because the humans are taking over. The age of humanity has taken over. The monsters are being reduced. Roads are being built, cities are being connected, and things are just getting too much for nature dwellers to survive. So it's better for them to adapt and be with the humans in peace, right? And he says that there's forests where dryads live in peace with elves and with humans. So this is a very good contention by Sapkowsky. It's the question of what do you prefer? Do you prefer your survival via adaptation, or do you prefer your survival in a total sense, preserving your genes and all that? As much as possible, even if it leads you to a demise. So he makes that argument. But then she tells him that it's the forests that take on the marble. It's the forests that root into the very graves where those humans are buried. So it will take time, right? So it's essentially saying that the civilization is just simply a temporary thing, but the time will rot away what man has done of damage to the world. So she has that kind of hope. And Siri is the character in between. And I think the genius of Sapkowsky is that she's the one that turns everything around on its face. Because the whole point why Siri is there is because she wants to make her a dryad, right? Ethne. Ethne, the dryad, wants to make Siri one of them. And basically, Siri refuses to become that. Siri says, no, I have to go with Geralt. Because she sees that he's her destiny, right? She is informed. She is aware that he is part of her life's process. So when all of her hope, of the dryad's hope, of Ethne's hope, becomes possible of her becoming one of them, she refuses. And she shows how you can actually see a third point, right? You can see the people in between who are not bothered by either the natural order or the civilized order, right? There's something who, like Geralt, who there's something like people who wander about, right? This is why in the games and in the music of the games, he was called the vagabond, right? And he is certainly, in one sense, Geralt of Rivia is a vagabond, right? In one aspect of his character. So it kind of demonstrates that destiny can unveil itself to you in a way where you're in between two opposite points, basically, which is, I think, a brilliant way to demonstrate a sort of neutral, morally neutral hero, right? I wouldn't call Geralt an anti-hero. He's always on the side of good, but he's morally neutral. He doesn't give anyone a credence that they're perfect, right? So it's kind of, he's in between, right? The worlds of conflicted sides. So he thus, by doing that, he conquers the idea that he's fully moral himself and all that. So yeah, I think it's just a wonderful passage. I think it's probably, from what I've read so far, right, and I've not read too much, but I will be reading it further on, probably the best page I read in both the books, right? In Witcher 1, which is The Last Wish, and in Sword of Destiny, right? So yeah, anyways, that's it.